Are in Manchester, playing host to the Weber Cup for the very first time here at Event City with Europe, the defending champions. Welcome to the 17th Weber Cup. It's Europe versus the USA. Well, it's a massive event, this, the biggest in Team Tenpin, and a huge amount of anticipation surrounding this year's tournament. They've played this tournament 16 times, and it's 8 wins apiece. Who will go into the lead this year? Well, it was Europe's year last time round. Here's what happened.
Once more into the breach as Weber Cup 16 gets underway. Good start for the Europeans. The bowling gods are smiling.
Matti Larsson, come on!
Brilliant bowling from the Swede. Nothing has gone right for the real deal, I'm afraid. Tough one to take for Bill O'Neill. At last! Wojnarowicz drops to the ground. Cometh the hour, cometh the man, Parker Bowe. He knew that was a poor throw. This quite phenomenal start by Team Europe just gets better and better. Unreal. Maximums just don't come along in the Baker. This is history right here. No! Oh, it's so cool. It honestly doesn't get much better than that. Meagre pickings from the team in red. What a shot from Palermo.
The Europeans have just stepped on the gas from game one.
Why me? He's asking. Williams for the point. He's got it! Team Europe stop the rot this afternoon here in Barnsley. European crowd now on their feet. Oh, it's brilliant. Right on cue, another fabulous performance. USA now staring right down the barrel. Makes the pocket, down they go, and Europe are just a small step away from a massive victory. This is going to be a European victory here.
The Weber Cup belongs to Team Europe.
Europe all smiles after last year's Weber Cup, and this is how the history of the tournament has panned out. It started in 2000, USA winning 3 in a row, then it was Europe, and then it was the USA winning 3 in a row again. Once one team wins, momentum seems to gather, and that's continued in recent years. 2 for Europe, 2 for the USA, and Europe have now won 3 in a row. So who will win the Weber Cup in 2016? Well, I'm joined by former World Masters champion Guy Kaminsky. Guy, how special is this event?
This is probably the pinnacle for most of the players out here. A purpose-built single lane in a stadium seating. It really is unique. You don't find it anywhere in the world for most of these players. So it really is a highlight for them.
Yeah, the single lane causes pressure, doesn't it, for the players?
Yeah, just the whole environment around it. You know, the Weber Cup, such a prestigious event to be part of, never mind win. And the lane, you know, and be in a new venue. It just looks fantastic, so I just hope the players perform as well as the venue looks.
And Europe keep winning, don't they? Are they going to win again this year?
Well, I mean, interesting enough, no one's ever gone and won more than 3 in a row. So who knows, hopefully.
Well, let's just remind you of the format then of this famous old tournament. This is how things will pan out over the next 3 days. 4 players per team. It's the first to 19 points, which is a slight tweak on previous years when it was first to 17. 1 point for a win, and it's a mixture of 3 different formats. The Baker is what they call a team game in Tenpin, and you've got singles, doubles, and that ever unpredictable captain's pick. Now, the scoring is new this year. It's the complete frame system, and it's designed to help people who aren't very good at maths, which includes me, and I think you find it much easier this year to work out what's going on. There's no extra shot in the 10th frame. A strike equals 30 pins. And, Guy, how is this going to improve the Weber Cup?
Look, I'm sure the traditionalists won't be mad about it, but the guy sitting at home, or the family sitting at home, is now the scoring is instant. There's no delayed scoring. It's not retroactive, so scoring is live and instant. So I think it'll add huge value to the viewer sitting at home.
Great, and my math skills won't be taxed. Now in 10-pin, it's all about the lane pattern. Europe have won the toss. It's the scimitar lane pattern tonight. These experts, it's so important for them, the lane pattern. Tell us about this lane pattern that Europe have gone for.
The lane pattern does get quite technical, so I don't want to confuse people sitting at home, but essentially what's important, it's the same lane pattern they've picked every year for Europe. I mean, they've won the last 3. If it's not broken, don't fix it. But the reality is, if I compared it to a golf course, this will be an average length golf course with average width fairways and the rough being average. So it really is a middle road scoring pattern. So I think it suits basically all 8 players that are coming up to bowl the Bay Cup.
Okay, there are quite a few rookies taking part in this year's tournament. Let's meet the teams. Lining up for Europe, Dominic Barrett, team captain for the 2nd year. It's his 9th Weber Cup. Martin Larsson, his 5th appearance. He's won his previous 4 Weber Cups. Jesper Svensson, the rookie from Sweden, a 2-handed bowler who's won 4 PBA titles. And Stu Williams, his 6th appearance, and he is a 4-time Weber Cup winner. And lining up for the USA, Parker Bone III, team captain. It's his 2nd appearance and 1st as captain. Marshall Kent, a rookie who's had 5 PBA perfect games. Kyle Troop, another rookie, 2-handed bowler who's the son of legend Guppy Troop. And Wes Malott, his 3rd appearance here with 10 PBA career titles. Let's talk about the American team first, Guy. Some terrific characters in there, but a very inexperienced team, and only 3 Weber Cup appearances between them.
Well, I think they had to make the change. I mean, the results haven't been going their way, and then I think forced into it. But interesting you say characters. I think they've got personalities now in the team to combat the European personalities, because they really did get overwhelmed last year. I mean, it's been close the years before, but they really did get beaten quite badly last year. So I think personalities are the key to it. Like you say, they are, newbies to the lane, but sometimes, a new broom sweeps clean, is that they have no scar tissue from years before, so maybe they come out here with a new attitude, no bad memories, and blow the place away.
Fair to say that Europe are favourites, though?
I think it's fair to say, just because the consistency in their lineup, and in fact with their one change, has made the team probably stronger.
Okay, well the captains have just announced their lineups for tonight. Let's have a quick look at how it's going to pan out. We've got the team game first, all the players on both teams taking part. A huge amount of experience in the first game. European team captain Dominic Barrett up against Wes Malott, who was of course here at the Weber Cup last year. Martin Larsson plays twice for Team Europe, and the final game of tonight is going to be unpredictable. It's going to be fascinating to see who the captains go for in the captain's pick. Right, we are ready to get underway. It's time for the first match of this year's Weber Cup.
Please welcome into the arena Team USA. Please welcome the defending champions, Team Europe.
Well, it's all looking very cordial on stage at the moment, isn't it? I wonder if that'll continue over the weekend. Possibly not. Things can get pretty heated and pretty fiery on this Weber Cup stage. Now then, Hannah Wilkes caught up a little bit earlier with the European team captain, Dom Barrett.
Thanks very much. Well, I'm with Dominic Barrett. Dominic, Europe have won the last 3 Weber Cups. Can you keep it going this weekend and win a 4th?
Definitely, we can definitely keep it going. I wouldn't say, we've necessarily strengthened our team, because I'm really good friends with Oscar. He's been playing great, but Jesper had to come in. He's been bowling so well. He won 2 titles last year, including a major. And I think with his addition on the left-hand side for us, I think that actually probably makes us the strongest European team ever.
If you win here this weekend, you'll take the lead in the overall score, something Europe have never done before. Is that an added pressure?
I think pressure is very much self-inflicted. So I think if you start thinking about that too much, then yeah, you're going to feel pressure about it. I think right now we're playing a fresh Weber Cup. Last year's one, even though we did really well and we have that momentum still, I think that's gone now, and we need to start again.
Thanks very much.
Well, Dom Barrett there, a guy, interesting that Dom thinks his team is so strong this year. Fascinating to hear his thoughts on that.
I mean, it is hard to argue with him. I mean, Jesper really has been the form player on the European tour at the moment. He's won a major. He's still a young kid. Guys are arguing about him playing in the under-21s, but he really is young. But he's earned his spot out here, and he has made the team better for them.
Well, Hannah Wilkes has also caught up with the American team captain, Parker Bowen III.
So I'm with Parker Bowen, Team USA captain. Parker, it's been a while since you've won a Weber Cup. Is the pressure on this weekend?
Well, I think that we've changed some things around. Obviously, Chris, Tommy, and Bill are great players, but we brought in some young guns this year, and we're going to see if we can't change all that karma that's been happening over the last 3 years.
It is a relatively inexperienced Weber Cup team. Is that a concern at all?
Not really, because for the players that are on this level, they have a lot of experience. Some have a little more than others, but that being said, I trust any one of our teammates to get up there and throw the big shot when it's necessary.
Thanks very much. Best of luck this weekend.
Parker Bowen III only played in 2 Weber Cups himself, but he is very experienced, easily the most experienced player actually on either side, just not in this tournament.
That's correct. I mean, on the PBA titles list, Team USA are infinitely stronger than Team Europe. But if you look at the actual experience on this lane, Team Europe are infinitely stronger. So it's all going to come down to see which experience is going to count on the day.
Last year and in previous years, we've seen a great deal of team spirit from Team Europe. They've really enjoyed each other's company. Do you think we'll see that again this year, and will the Americans try to emulate that?
I think they will. That's probably why they've gone with the change with the young kids. I mean, Carl really is I'm sure you'll see over the weekend, the crowd will get to love him. He really is a crowd fan favourite, if that's right the one word. But I think his personality will come out kind of similar to what Stu does for the European team. He really gels them, and hopefully Carl will bring them all together.
And we talk about it being the Ryder Cup of 10-pin bowling. The team spirit is just so important. It almost takes on a world of its own over the course of this long weekend of 10-pin that we've got ahead of us.
Well, that's it. I think basically these guys spend the whole year playing singles events. It's not often they get to come together and actually play a team event. Although there are matches that are singles, this really does come down to how you click, how you gel, the information you pass on to your teammate, the support you give your teammate, which we saw last year. The Europeans were like a family, and the Americans didn't look that way. But hopefully they've learned from last year, and we'll see a change.
There's no hiding place, though, is there? If you have a bad game up there, there's nowhere to go, and we found that last year with the Americans. They were trying to lift themselves, and their teammates were trying to lift them as well. But as we look at Marshall Kemp, one of the rookies here, maybe he won't be kind of burdened by the previous performances, and he'll kind of have a fresh mindset in this tournament.
Well, definitely will. I mean, these young kids today are really so talented and unbelievable players that they bring a whole new level of confidence to the lane, to the team. So I think that actually, even though they are new to the lane, they may actually bring some upliftment to Wes and Parker.
Well, Guy, thanks very much indeed for now. It's time to hand over to our commentators as we get Weber Cup underway. Cass Edwards and Wayne Boyce.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. So, new venue, new scoring, and 3 new players for the Weber Cup. A really fresh feel to the Party Poker Weber Cup this year. And the USA, Cass, will certainly be hoping for a fresh change of fortune after 3 straight defeats.
Yeah, absolutely, Wayne, and especially after last year's 17-8 defeat. On paper they will be quite equal, but as we can see, they're not playing on paper, they're playing on 60 feet of lane, and it's got lots of oil on it, so it's an exciting time ahead.
Well, Carl Trooper, we saw there one of the two newcomers for the USA, a really flamboyant character who's going to add plenty to this United States team. Remember, no team has ever won 4 successive Weber Cups. If Europe do so, they will take the lead, Cass, for the very first time in the series, so a really pivotal event.
Absolutely, Wade, yeah. It's going to be really great if they can actually win this first Baker game, and as you say, it will be the first time they've ever been ahead in the whole of the Weber Cup history.
Well, the Baker bode well for Europe last year. They won both of them, including the one in the opening session, which they won by 5 games to 1 to get off to that stunning start, and the USA never really got themselves back into it after that. Baker gives everybody a competitive taste of the lane, and of course gets the session off to a really good psychological start with a victory, and that's nicely into the pocket from Larson, and that's the perfect start.
It is the perfect start because it's 30 pins on the very first ball. The new scoring system developed by World Bowling. Every strike is worth 30 pins no matter where it comes in the game. Spares are worth 10 plus the total of the first ball, so a 9 spare is worth 19, and open frames are just the pins that are knocked down with 2 balls. So it's a very easy scoring system, and it's the American captain up for his first shot.
And a perfect riposte for the USA from Parker Bone III.
Great looking shot from Parker Bone here, keeps it way down the left hand side, hits the 1-2 pocket, carries all 10, and he too takes 30 pins.
He of course was a member of the US team, so badly beaten up less than a year ago, in fact, wasn't it, at Weber Cup 16. He'll be so desperate to turn it around this year for the USA. He just came a little straight at the end of that, took the turn a tad too early, Cass, for Don Barrett.
Yeah, played just a little bit down the centre of the lane, went high on the head pin and left the 3 and the 10 pin standing. Now with the new scoring system, if Dom can spare this, it will be an 8 spare, which counts as 10 plus 8 for that first ball. It will be 18 added to the 30 that Martin Larson scored.
And he does spare it, absolutely no mistake from Don Barrett, the most experienced player out there in terms of Weber Cups. And the numbers played. Second time in a row that he's captain of Europe, having led them to that historic victory last time out. Where's Malott then? Up next for the USA. Just leaves up the spare.
Great reaction off that ball, came right up from the right hand side, hit the 1-3 pocket, couldn't quite kick that 10 pin out in the corner. Might just be the angle, it's just a fraction light, and of course that 6 pin bounces round that 10. So a spare here will be 9 spare, 19 added to the 30 that Parker Bone scored.
And absolutely no mistake from Malott, and that is a 1-point lead for Team USA after 2 frames. I mean, traditionally, Cass, it's very difficult to score highly in the Baker, but Europe flew in the face of that with a 2.99 in the 3rd session and the 2nd Baker last year.
Yes, it was the most historic game, the highest Baker game ever scored, a 2.99. Unfortunately, Dominic Barrett couldn't get the last strike. Yes, for Svensson! That's his first shot in the Weber Cup. The youngster from Sweden rips the rack.
Just thought for a second the 7 pin was going to stay up there.
Lots of power from this two-handed, they call it the shovel shot. Just a little bit light, but he's got a messenger, and that 7 pin's gone. Great looking shot. And it's high fives from his fellow Swede, Martin Larson.
What a way to introduce yourself to the Party Poker Weber Cup. And Marshall Kent for the USA. His first shot in Weber Cup action, finds the pocket, and follows suit with a strike, and this is a terrific start cast to the Baker.
And it gives a good example of the scoring system. Strike, spare, strike is 78 and strike, spare, strike is 79. A 1-pin lead for Team USA.
High fives all round. After the disastrous session at the start of last year, it is crucial for the USA that they hang on the coattails of Europe or indeed get themselves a lead. On paper, as we've mentioned already, Europe the big favourites. It's another great shot. And the third strike for Team Europe in this Baker.
Stuart Williams, a local man. Well, I say local. He used to live into the Manchester area, but is now married and lives in Phoenix in Arizona. Playing the anchor man for Team Europe. Absolutely rips the back.
And now Carl Troop to complete the set. A two-hander brings it in and leaves a horrible, horrible split. And that really is advantage Europe now.
Well, it certainly is, yeah. This looks like being a big open frame. His first shot in the Weber, he's a debutant. It's high through the face of the number 1 pin, leaves the 4-6 and the 7-10. He'll be looking for 2, possibly 3.
Just the 2.
Settles for the 2, which is an open frame, and 8 pins only scored.
First open frame of the Weber Cup. And now here's Larsen. He has that astonishing record, remember, of 4 appearances in the Party Poker Weber Cup and 4 wins. No wonder they call him Lucky Larsen. He's certainly been that for Europe.
Yeah, well, really has, yes. And just at the right time as well. He's just taken a quick reset of the pins. He's happy that they were all on spot, so he's allowed to rack up another 10. Hopefully these will be in the equal triangle. Brand new bowling pins playing with tonight. So they don't fall over quite as easy as pins that have been used before.
Just leaves the 1 up this time, Larsen.
Just the 9 following the strike of his last shot. Spare here will score 19. As I say, strikes are worth 30. Spares are worth 10 plus the score of the first ball. He scored 9. That's the spare is 10 and the 9 added is 19 pins.
Straightforward, a 40-pin lead at the moment. Parker Bone bowl the frame in hand though for the USA.
Yeah, certainly the veteran of the whole tournament, Parker Bone. He's been around for an awful lot of years and has done most things in 10-pin bowling around the world.
He really will have to play a captain's role here, given how young the USA team is. Again, just leaves up that spare. Could have really done with all 10 there to get the USA right back within touching distance.
Just a fraction light coming in on the head pin there. Leaves that 3-pin standing, which can only be a spare, so I won't keep on about it, but a 9 spare is going to be worth 19.
Picture of concentration in the face of Parker Bone, no mistake. Straightforward spare.
And 19 is the lead that Team Europe have, and we're halfway through this game already.
Yeah, the complete frame scoring system that we keep referring to has already been used, Cass, hasn't it, on the Asian Tour, for example?
Yes, indeed. In fact, it's not only been used on the Asian Tour this year, Asian Ranking Tour this year. It was used in 2015 in the World 10-Pin Masters final, television final, where this man won the tournament and shot 10 strikes in a row, which was a 300 game on television. So reigning World Masters champion 2015 is Dominic Barrett, so he knows all about this scoring system.
Big ooh from the crowd there.
Yeah, he leaves a 4-pin standing. It's going to be a straightforward spare. And a straightforward 19 pins, one would hope.
started off with plenty of strikes. Haven't had one now for 4 frames. USA could certainly do with one cast to close this gap, which remains at 40 pins.
Wayne, they could certainly do with probably 2 or 3 strikes, although turkeys don't seem to count anymore. Every strike is worth 30 pins. So the more they can get, the easier it will be to catch up.
Just took the turn a little too early. High through the head pin that time from Wes Mellot. Shake of the head.
Yeah, not very happy with that. Leaves the 3 and the 6 pin standing. It is right through the face, isn't it? Doesn't set up any chain reaction. It wasn't a perfect shot. So this can only be a spare if he can carry these 2 away. She does nicely, and that's worth 18.
I know there's always a random element to the Baker match, but do you think in the team talk ahead, the USA players would have been saying, come on, let's get this Baker in, let's get a point on the board and get our noses in front, which they didn't manage to do, of course, previously.
Well, Dominic Barrett, the European captain, had the choice of the lane pattern oiling condition, and he chose a 40 feet pattern with a ratio of 4:1. So in the centre of the lane, there's 4 times more lane oil than there is on the outside of the lane. Here we see the two-handed Jesper Svensson.
Great shot from Svensson.
It's his 2nd strike of the game, and it's high fives all round again. That's worth another 30 pins.
It's easy, this Weber Cup business, isn't it? For Jesper Svensson.
It's easy for the scorers as well, so I'm told. Not everybody's favourite, but it may be a sign of things to come. I'm sure it will be used in other television major finals.
Well, we've seen the likes of table tennis and badminton change their scoring systems over the years. 10-pin bowling follow suit wholesale. Marshall Kent. Yes, he was willing that into the pocket and certainly found the 1-3 impressively.
Reduces the lead to 22 pins, but running out of frames here for Team USA. Europe is staying clean. USA with that one big open frame that Carl Troop had.
And Stu Williams. Frame 8. If they can keep their noses clean, Europe, they will have themselves a lead. Well, it looked for all the world as though it was going to take all 10, but he's left the 10 pin.
Yeah, I think Stuart looked a bit surprised on that one. It was a pretty good looking shot, I must admit. It's hit really hard in that 1-3 pocket. And you can see that 6 pin just bounced all around that 10 pin, didn't even touch it. The 9 spare here will be worth 19 pins.
Never in doubt from Stu Williams. Wraps up the 19, taking Europe to 195 now.
Yeah, almost getting up to the 200 barrier, which is a sort of a benchmark. But with players of this calibre, more like 220 or 225 will be the benchmark they'll be looking for.
Now Carl Troop, an open frame in his first bowl of his Weber Cup career.
Yeah, a right-handed, two-handed player. He's got a nickname of Fro, which is something to do with his afro haircut.
I was going to say, it doesn't take too much working out, does it? Oh, I was going to say, that's better. Well, he's left the spare. He's unlucky not to take them all.
Yes, and that's his 2nd shot and his last one in this Baker game. So he'll be looking for a spare, hopefully. Played that tighter line straight in the middle. Just a fraction higher head pin, leaves the 4 pin standing. Harder, straighter ball. 9 spare is worth 19. So still 22 pins ahead for the European squad.
Well, they feel a little better after that, after the open frame first time around.
Wayne, the nice thing about this European squad is they're all very good friends. They travel together, they bowl tournaments together, socialise together with wives and girlfriends. And I'm going to call them the 4 amigos at the moment. That's how close they are. Oh, look
Great
at that.
shot. Lovely shot, Martin Larsson. And he is on fire, Cass.
Absolutely, so lucky, wasn't he? To all intents and purposes, it was 9 pins. Now, how light that is. And the six-pins just kicked the 10-pin like a little messenger, and Martin's chopped that tree down as well. Strike worth 30 pins.
Well, I say you're better off being lucky than good. He's both. Magnificent start for Martin Larsson. And a great shot too from Parker Bone. That was certainly a captain's ball.
Great looking shot. Yes, that's 2 strikes that Parker's had. 30 pins it's worth. Takes the Americans through the 200 barrier. There's still 21 pins adrift, and it's the 10th frame. So if Europe have an open frame, USA have got a chance maybe to steal this one. Don Barrett just needs to put a spare or a strike on the board in the 10th frame. No bonus balls. A strike will win it.
Oh, again, it came in very heavy, didn't it, at the front, Cass, on that head pin. Not quite got his eye in yet, Europe's captain.
Situation is if Dominic just takes one of these pins, Europe will have a 233. And Wes Malott can strike out for a tie at 233. But that's the spare, and it's worth 18 pins. And Europe have won this opening Baker game. The score of 242.
Well, effectively a practice shot for Wes Malott. Well, again, seems to find the pocket, but that 10-pin just won't go down for him at the moment.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate. The game's over. It's in fact, it's 243 for Team Europe, which is a pretty good score to open up with. But now all the players have seen how this lane is playing. They'll be coming up for their singles matches shortly.
Well, it's an open frame, but no matter. 243, 212 is the score for Europe, and they lead by 1-0. Well, Cass, Europe will be absolutely delighted to get off to a winning start again. They lead Team USA by 1-0. We're going to take a short break, but don't go anywhere. More action after the break.